Abusia ya na ase me share obonnes your special guest watena ase free sabri aircrow no Kencity abusia no ye net 2 TV Oman FM Ash FM Nap Radio enkomo ye ba bedie no ye Ghana nkomo mimi din ede yawo amofa boache paragraph boache dankwa adwane ye oye former spokesperson President Akufo-Addo Breso governance and security na me ya aduma ma no pay me nsa aka no this is my first time I'm able to host no open ya kwaba
medase amofa
boko de
nyamiado
okay
me hoye
okay because President Akufo-Addo time now we spokesperson for security President Akufo-Addo exit here na ya ba new governance mu security we do any dey chire kakra
over mincha na mincha wetie for ene wahwe for na me fa incha kese ma mpeni fo mienu omo aba bedi Ghana so ya o ma mpeni John Agyapong
okay
bedi incha kese ma no anope yenya ye papa no na me san chia o ma mpeni a ode na memu ba ewie ye o ma mpeni na nado danko Akufo-Addo ofa no pay echia o na eja yenya ba na tu yi die amincha Ghana fo nya nyomo dono mo penasem eye honorable Ken ohene Agyapong chano and pay security yaw andra minyante yese Ivory Coast
yes
eye omo capital freno Abidjan into ye bi esi hono ana ya humti ye ba na ye fi abaimu ye transitional team no ye bon modern ema ora John Dramani Mahama ehu se Ghana man no ye tie si hoyie nti ono so mbra no beto aso security ade ehu hia ema wiase afanenya so wentumi nya ofa hodie na wentumi ambo ho ban ye na woni o maya obetumi edi so Ghana omugusu bo mo homoden eja yugusu nti Ghana security bambo no yugusu bo ye homoden o mampeni John Dramani Mahama momo 120 days no me kasa kakra efa ho efa bambo ene amamu ho na me de nhihye bi tutu ho no metumi ka say bambo de senya Ghana tie bia yugusu bo ye ho ban ye na so niema na ebia enkoye emaye no eye chieftaincy disputes bia na ekokokoso a ase nya semblance be to say as a internal terror acts kakra medi DH into by and large you bet me aka say the security of this country is safe and is protected because say we have a new governance and I assign war new president yenim say constitution or yes the commander in chief of the Ghana Armed Forces was assign all the security couples send your two no emano.
Do you agree with
him? In principle
okay
Ghana for to Obama wa 2 million yasho sa inti wo pese wo frankofo a wo gidi se wo so betumi ne omedi nkomo afa Ghana bambo ho the way ya memo ne ya bambo no 2 million bebre e show mampenisa a ye frɛ no executive power inti say 4-star general and a 3-star general na oni aban bia yedwuma ifie wotwe na ohwe na se obana ebia o feel say on person in the betu ejuma so I don't find anything wrong with it now so ope obi a obisi nanaya obepe say obefu obi a ye almost closer ebia a 2-star general bia on also continentally and even the sub-region of West Africa no ninim dia ko enima ankofo obu no but ne hwe ye ne say 1-star general no fire no within the short possible time no promote no but I mean by and large I think it's been settled. Internal security has been changed by the IGP. Yohono is there. Nyankasame Bonabaso. SISO Bo Ora Dr. George Akufu-Addo Pariabaso. Ghana Fonya and Njuma Oyeye. And all the security couples from immigration to police to prisons to fire service, all of them have been changed. It's all well and good. National security has been changed. Narcotics has been changed. For the total security and architecture of the country, there, Metumia say, okay.
Can we link it up with Galamsey when some say you're secured, but in terms of security?
Illegal mining, idea yahumti. Emma Ghana mine. Ye tutu to kwine ewo Ghana. who say illegal mining no an economy in the lower scheme of events a kura mining ekoso aban a etwemu eyo mampeni na nado dan kweku fo aba maban e de hyehyɛ bebre toto ho no ma ye ne ye pese regularize small scale mining. Okay. As I said, there's a big economy around it. Untumi nka say we be jai mining altogether, but adrinkasi bi wo ho no ma betumi atre say then ye be ya ye betumi e make sure say illegal mining no more ye no more ye illegal mining omuni krata ye bebo mo ho ban ni amo mo krata no betumi aye responsible mining into the community mining bi to ho set up community mining scheme over various places near hwe yen so ne hu say people were mining along water bodies and river bodies ema abaya e wo ho no me yo mampeni na dan akufo-addo aban e de hyehye to ho no meto 10 mercury free machines. Mercury free machines ni bi wo no ma de to no ma to me make sure say we cleaning wo gold ne nema wenya onfa insuo enkwa no ene e bomodin e boaboa small scale miners no ano assign putty associations together and making sure say they will have responsible mining. Assign the alternative livelihood program to no because Ghana need be to find a mining site. Bra, you can immediately conclude say a buying a baby must find a reasonable way of ensuring that omo illegal mining omuni krata no ye be mo krata no more responsible mining into the goal and the solution to curb illegal mining yes so de be nkofo e be fa responsible mining so eno na ya ban e ba na ye pese ye yes to me be ye ekodu echi but ohwa ye ko election ni mu no na aban na ye government in waiting the NDC government as say omo ye government now no omo de illegal mining ni ye a lot of politics. Eka say declare state of emergency. Eka say omoba they would make sure so be or yeah illegal mining na ebia omo farm ranso nya na yachi omo aye de omo ko dina court no ombe je omo nya and clearly you could see say now me mo no monte ase and it's a clear indication the reason why I almost struggle now because the concept of illegal mining no is from a very long time. Now the colonial masters were here. Omo ba ye omo who say Ghana is a place of Gold Coast. I didn't fair in Gold Coast. In Kano no na gold na de da form. Ye na nanom ne ye papa nom omo de yasoma de. Inti abrofo nom ba ye omo who the value of it. And say wow, gold na de da form bebre. So illegal mining has been with us almost a century and counting. Into any reasonable government our person also no and yes so be making sure say people move from illegality to legality and also people become responsible. What you say? It is all about responsible mining. But abaina na eba no the politics, and clearly now you can see that they are in the dip. Okay. Me who say omo pese omo ye mining on the motion. Me who say omo di hun komo say mining on the motion. But when she say yeah, any policies on mampeni na nado dan akufo-addo, any the minister then Abuja any amewu edi tutu honum and making sure some have a stakeholder engagement all across board. Edi to me share chiefs no inside. Say enya dia ye de license ebe mo bi efi crime na mumu nim ho amane nti mo na mo de sankofo no be fi mo community any locality any village e dia ban crime na ye hu say yampa mo ma ho kwan because Ghana assassin ya de en so mampeni nsa Ghana assassin ya e hye enfonsa nti it was a clear indication and a mandate o mampeni na na de dan akufo-addo e de hye ahemfo nsa. It's clearly you can see say there was wisdom in that. Me who say minister minister for lands and natural resources. Yes, so he was overwhelmed by the situation. And clearly he underestimated it because the fight against illegal mining, let me say it in this way. So say when you have a swarm of insects and bees, Ubeka say ube two asino na check. Edding. So what do? Bees on my honey. Enti obia na drink which in the beka say, let me gather these bees. Send a I'll put them in a hive. Send a menya honey if you're more. So what do? We have a swarm of young people involved in illegal mining. It's in trewo wo say ye di ombeka say munja illegal mining na moye na mo be illegal mining. Yemfa to me enhye mo ase.
Ghana for anti MPP ase with niema hodoa na party no any aban no President Akufo-Addo peso de egu akwam na wo manto aba manfa MPP ema NDC bae ade na aye west threatening security kura. Baby MPP gina say to come back. Ekoye.
Me catch you say 2028 is a victory for the New Patriotic Party. In fact, this will be the shortest lived opposition for the New Patriotic Party. The shortest lived opposition for the New Patriotic Party. Because Omampeni John Dramani Mahama or the Namemu Amemu watching 8
years.
8 years. You didn't say if you watch the house, yes, until this will be the shortest lived opposition for us, the New Patriotic Party. Shortest lived. And I hear boa ye the structures and be to 2 years. Oh, bra eko pa. Kroma ye de. Kroma ye de ubia bo se. Anope me bana me dream asem ho. Trikasa na ye friend no okrosa. Potokasa na ye friend no tryon. U breaking na te say camera ya me hwe mo cho camera 3 no. Camera 3 for a reason. Just almost pick all angles are a member camera 3.
Yeah.
Ghana for any MPP for the nipa ba kubi ba or ye or crosser. Only nipa ba kubi o numu yedu.
Me tiki about or crosser no or crosser now
or crosser.
Okay.
Or crosser ye Trinity.
Okay.
Or crosser Trinity. Okay. And Kasabia, you say a trace standard cord cannot be broken.
Yes.
Honorable Ken Ohini Agyapong.
Oh, na sem na okay.
Me patrai or your crosser. Ghana. You see yan ananum Eddie Momoja.
Boachi dangwa.
Ba.
Ede na ma wo GD o Ken musa.
Me ba. You see yan ananum Eddie Momoja Eji assassin no. You see your fango wa hanom mineral resources. And you see your agriculture. Anything that your flag no, red, gold, and green. And you're crosser.
You're quiet.
Yes, you're quiet no. And you're crosser. That's the triune nature of Ghana. Inti say MPP, you're back to power in 2028. There's no other person able to make the number than Obi or your crosser. And that's Ken Ohini Agyapong. Let me tell you something. Must study the dynamics on the continent of Africa. By 2050, the population of Africa will be about 2.5 billion people. Okay. At the moment, we are around 1.4 million people all across the continent. Now, the level of young people that are growing up. In Africa, we have about 800 million young people. The despondency rate, your friend, level of employability of young people. Abinding to me, so I know. Must study the system of Ghana from 1957. Na Queen Elizabeth, Edi Yeso. Asana, ye G to me na, Omoka Sombema Yefie Miensa, Asana Yabeya Republic. Yabeya Republic, 1960-1961. First Republic in the Dimu, CPP for Ibediso. Opening Kwame Nkrumah, Ghana first president. Not a politician, not your academic. If you are ba buzia, ba military regime, ba a free fire, a champon, kutu a champon, niema mo ye wa Ghana industrialization in niema, ba Edward akufo-addo, ba president Jerry John Rawlings. Eba President John Agyapong, Eba Atamils no a taxman, SIS a academic professor, professor of law.
Yeah.
We Eba John Dramani Mahama, life career politician, right from the grassroots as an assemblyman throughout to the highest office of the land. What set record will be set bida. Or the president, you catch us on train, or sign by or it's never happened in the Fourth Republic before. Omampeni na nado dan akufo-addo. Ghana Reformation Constitution bibia kase obeji Ghana ama Ghana ejina honum bomode ma Fourth Republic ebe ye. There has never been a history in this country we have had a business conglomerate. So pesoba no be boy ema Ghana to me tumpon. You know, say Africa, the West, omuni respect. You can't say what you obuo. Omuni obuo ema yen. The West omuni obuo ma yen Africans. What in danger? It's say almost every time your leaders in India, we go cup in hand begging. And it's for me, I believe so much in the idea of President Nana Danko Akufo-Addo Ghana Beyond Aid. President Nana Danko Akufo-Addo Ghana Beyond Aid, a audacious statement to be making sure say, or the Ghana air to pass the biswa, we will never go back cup in begging to the West.
The West,
Exactly. It's the ocean may see with Yamemwa Yubu. You can clearly see, say, there was some architecture behind it beyond COVID-19 and Russia's invasion of Ukraine. There was a clear architecture behind it, say, hey, now Ghana flow to meet economically, we have lithium, we have gold, we have bauxite, we have copper, we have iron, we have oil. Enti you be able to me abedi or mine so a se Ghana for tomorrow so unko World Trade Organization meeting, UN meeting. He has the audacity to say, you have a resource in the Mamusa.
Politics is for politicians, football is for football people. Why do you prefer a businessman?
Politics and governance and democracy is for the people, by the people, and with the people. Now, the private sector is the engine.
Okay.
The private sector is the engine and the macro of the economy of every country. If you say a pager because of the private sector, just use the United States of America for an example. Look at all the presidents on Waba. Argentina, Elon Musk has been appointed as an advisor to Donald Trump. Think about it. Argentina, Donald Trump, or they say to started some global tariffs. Or tariffs because also America didn't know. And until the MSC no, I appreciate it against the US dollar. Because Donald Trump, the tariffs to 2 will be also.
Our country is a business.
In fact, that is what must be. Omaino must be thought about as a strategic business company. So I said 9:30. I got here at 9:20.
Yes.
We need a total shift of our cultural identity as a people. You hear say you be pager your home and not look down upon ourselves. You hear say you be starting businesses and start business entrepreneurs. You hear say me tried the University of Professional Studies this year. You find 14,000 level hundreds. Omampini Nana Danko Akufo-Addo the free senior high school by University of Ghana for almost 80,000, UCC 70,000, KNUSC 65,000. Count the private universities. Give it 4 years. Look at the number of people on Baby University on Beba. We need to be able to create an environment. But who other person understands the private sector and understands politics and has a fair balance of it? 24 years of experience in parliament as an arm of government. The legislative arm of government is part of it significantly.
At what point when he bow also said, this time around it should be Kennedy Agyapong?
You know, Lucy Abato, the results was devastating. But I've studied the results. It cannot be compared to any election done in this country.
Yes.
I'm telling you,
True.
It cannot.
True.
From 92 to 96 to 2000 to 2004 to 2008 to 2012 to 2016 to 2020, 2024 election, no, you to me found to 2 election BIA or Ghana. You know what? Omampeni Nana Danko Akufo-Addo, it's a very wise man. Party no, it's na homo biya. Party no will sue and a buying. Party no, it will sue and a buying. It's a shame you hold on Omampeni Nana Danko Akufo-Addo, or trust your dream or share your say, hey, party, the way I'm confirmed, every party no, any the sooner the buy no.
Yes, I need it.
And yes, I need it. It's yen fa hihye bi tutu ono ma ebe man kofo hu say that bia so ufi A ufi B ufi C unso betumi abedi o man
na Ghana for pewa
betumi abedi o man so aya me pe ship papa is an granted no akwentu bia no bia etu bia no me the ship na ko na aeroplane no e skafo ni niam it's a ship ubetra high seas no so maybe 30 days and na me so me a Christian missionary, and along my missionary journeys in Ibi we toured around the world in a ship. It's in a ship you can go to about 100 countries in 8 months. What can you yasem? Na so be there say e be a ship now we use no. Want to mean far and cross it the Mediterranean Sea. And also want to mean far cross it Indiana Sea and Indiana Ocean and also Atlantic Ocean. Now person train say o ship no be to me dey akọ. But the call no ma. Na say o hwe na unjuma na the call here o no nya profit o no ma. Then you stay within your domain and your terrain.
Yeah.
The New Patriotic Party your terrain na yehu nya no has always been say we have a leader or certain orientation. Or certain ideologies. The base grassroots edge bonuso.
Count them.
And I said,
oh,
from 92.
Okay.
From 92. Omampeni Nanado Danko Akufo-Addo. From 92. Frankatunyo Tuma Yen Edubuahin. From 92.
Now, not base in the pen.
Not base in the pen. John Agyapong Kufuor from 92. The base loved him.
Yes.
And it's been consistent from there.
Yeah.
Now, I read a book that was written by a guy called Robin Sherman. The book is titled The Leader Without a Title and the Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. Now, if you see Bia, Usho Bia, or your leader, or which our any followers. On per se, obey your front line. But that's the best of leadership. It's even scriptural. The Bible says that Osha Yesu Christo says, my sheep know my voice. Ebedena odrai with master voice. Not just a master no wonechi. So in Israel, mitra honom ifyemiasa. In Israel, omo musho indrai no sono. Indrai no we nim no muwechi. Every leader or trechi, extra followers no, is the best tactical and strategic leader. Honorable Agyapong, he's not been a minister before.
True.
At best, he's been a chairman of a committee in parliament. 24 years experience in the legislative arm of government. Seen all governments from NDC to MPP. Seen all presidents from President Jerry John Rawlings to President John Agyapong Kufuor to President Tata Mills to John Dramani Mahama to Nanado Danko Akufo. Seen all of them. And strategically, so Trechi.
So he's a businessman, politician.
Of course.
I see.
So Trechi, now to me, tactically, strategizing well, you'll be one of the best leaders Ghana can have. Because it's not about yourself. That's why I said the leader without a title. It's not about yourself. It's about the fact that people the Ghana to me see baby. We will not always go cup in hand begging. It is always troubling, bruh. Say, every time you care about IMF. Do you know the creation of IMF?
Cousin.
It's the International Monetary Fund. How must the International Monetary Fund work? So, into your mind, the International Monetary Fund does not work. Every time there's a system in place to make sure, say, am I mind you will come cup in hand begging to the International Monetary Fund. Now, say Ghana, you pay a I think that at a stage we should be able to say it's okay. Don't say it's okay. We should say it's okay because there are many more generations behind us. Now, look at businessmen or mere business in Ghana. In fact, there could have been a lot of environment that commit to my business. They will strive more. But so be a business in Ghana, invest in Ghana, employ people in Ghana. That person is a can-do person. Dangote, it's a made man in Nigeria. contribute significantly to the economy of Nigeria. Ghana, we need such people. We need to be a strategy, I say. Or global business, I say. Or global politics, I say. He can sit in the room with the big boys of G7 and tell them that we're not taking this in Ghana. And that should be it. We need that level of boldness. We need that level of audacity. We need to change the tide of the country. And this country will say, so you crash ship. Now almost there will say, you can't take your ship across the Indian Ocean and now the Atlantic Ocean. And you know, say your ship is durable. Now cross it on, you prove to them that you can. That's what the New Patriotic Party did. We proved to the Ghanaian people, say, the New Patriotic Party is not an ethnic party for one particular ethnic group. We proved to the Ghanaian people, say, so ufi wa, ufi boga, ufi tamale, ufi volta, ufi bono, ufi ashanti, ufi central, ufi bebia wagana mu, na se to me bo modern ebasra, the party will give you the opportunity. But the fact that the party has given you the opportunity, bruh, near figures say extremely abysmal. There's no need repeating a bad strategy. And that's where we are. It's for me. Michelle Ghana Dachi.
People argue, say, first timer from Adubu, you need to go and sign what we are winning.
Those arguments do not hold water because the world has changed. Maybe 13 years old. In the next 4 years, maybe Tuaba doesn't know Dubai. That's the truth.
You're right.
He doesn't know Dubai. He doesn't know Dubai. In fact, to be fair, I'll tell you something. Cheddar has a bright future in this country.
Yeah.
Because many young people know him. Odiazie. Aha. So those history, those antecedents and histories, it doesn't work in this alpha generation. Alpha generation, they don't know them. What I say, they don't know them. If you put those antecedents, it's just about 20% of the population.
Okay.
They are looking for new trends. So those does not hold water. If Nakasadi they hold water, John Dramani Mahama would not become president. Yeah. It tells you, say, the dynamics have changed, the history has changed. What I say, it's first timer, second timer. See, you got to about 2028. And you declare Honorable Ken Agyapong as the president-elect of the Republic of Ghana. So you say that will change the strategy.
In terms,
they change the strategy now. In the near future, we can say first time I can win. Exactly. Let's look beyond that. Because those ones, he holds no antecedents across the world and even across the globe. The world has evolved. Today, we are over 8 billion people in the world. Now, I'm bidding about cyber security. Obviously, the rate at which cyber security and data and internet and digitalization and everything is going, sometimes in the you'll be there and a beto. Your phone crying crazy.
Yeah.
But today, look, Kalanikra phone. They can even unlock your phone without your notice.
Yeah.
It's reaching us. So we need a leader. He can meet where the world is. Because you see, the world is in a storm. If you look at Nesiwo US, over Nesiwo East Asia, from Middle East, over Africa, the world is in a storm. You need leaders who can strive above that storm. And that's the truth. You need leaders who are tried, tested.
If you look at the courses, say, your governance, removal of Chief Justice, and even Cancer President Mahama, nya Obesanya Kobiu, and the Sankomodi no air course alongside MPP, so I don't whoever be lead the party, no money idea. No, still, I do believe that 2028 baby a Hoyama MPP. Oh,
President Mahama, I want to be in tri-term, not in Ghana. No, that's true. Until President Mahama cannot try a third term. Not in Ghana, it won't happen. It's not any conversation crazy you don't come on because it won't happen. In fact, President John Dramani Mahama cannot phantom the thought of going for a third term. It won't happen. I don't believe Christ or that dream holder. I don't think so. It will happen. Which Ghana? Ghana Yetimui.
Yes.
What are you talking about? Ghana Kwame Nkrumah Eshase. Buzi Abaye, Rollins Baye, Kufo Baye, Akufo-addo Baye, Tamils Baye. Mahama Nebesesano. It will happen. No, Mahama cannot go for a third term. I know that argument. Me, I don't even want to hear it.
Oh,
it won't happen.
And never be brave for in terms of governance. We said cement born. People are saying say whoever I'm representing as candidate be I'm win it 2028.
No, 2028. You be winning a battle for the new patriotic party with a new candidate, Honorable Ken Agyapong, the flag bearer incoming, and the incoming president. Everything you do, we need a battle on. If we don't present Honorable Ken Agyapong, forget it.
Reasons.
Ghana for budget so.
Okay.
Me drive around. Go for say, hey, about to the uncle ye crowd. When you say Ghana for pay asempa.
Pa.
About to the uncle ye pound. The one I'm the neighbor. Now I throw in the name. This is like January of 2025. It's your Honorable Ken Agyapong ever. People give me words, fantastic, solid, good decision. When you almost like kaka on bedi Ghana for sika. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, wow. Obeka no kre ama Ghana. Obema Ghana etumpong. When you say people are getting tired of politicians.
Pa.
And
Pa.
Data be out. Now data never out, no. People on conform Uncle Twabano. Brebrena are tired of the rhetorics. People need actions. Me, I like President Zelensky.
Okay.
He said his country is going through war. He can't dress in a formal way when his country is going through war.
Yeah.
He needs to dress in a way that makes him comfortable and war ready.
Yeah.
Maybe a guy they do know. Bruh. You know, we need a leader who can get into the ditches and unpack the country and repack it and repackage it and present
And who is that leader?
Honorable Ken Agyapong. That's it. That's it. My steady system, no. I've seen it. Do you understand? We need to be very pragmatic. My share factories are an individual. I'm paying another danko akufo-addo buy. Okay, so buy one district, one factory. As a government, listen, no, as a government. And I've looked at an individual. Nipa ba akope. Maybe he may have partners, but just an individual. We see almost 6 factories and counting. Factories, so and a nightclub and a chop bar. Let's be real. Factories that employ people. Factories that create a whole value chain. An entire value chain. What are you talking about?
My name is Wasem. You said the Ghanaian nature. I mean, Osha President Kufua, Bren Huase, Gentle Giant, President Mills. I mean, they pass on G. As against President Akufo-Addo then. President Akufo-Addo has to change the style. The way I Ghana for Bejina Tum, Uba President Mahama, on perform cry, say a pedant hojo. It's all about Ken and Isuyashi.
Leader, you need 3 things. You must be a lion, a dove, and a sheep.
A good leader, yeah.
Every good leader.
Okay.
You must have these 3 things. Me, my PhD is in leadership.
Okay, sure.
Every leader, you need 3 things. You must be a lion, you must be a lamb, and you must be a dove. These 3 things. Leader, yeah.
Lion side, none of them can affiliate.
Hold on.
Kosu.
Me. Every leader be a near oye.
Okay.
Every leader be a achieve BB. Every leader achieves something. To me achieve to your expectation, but every leader achieves something. In the structure of governance, every leader achieves something. And in the structure of governance, to me, because a Ghana phone to Obama, a particular leader, We can't say that. What you say? It's once a Ghana for when you add to me a show on Saturday. We believe say Ghana for Judi. That's why President Rawlings became a president. That's why John Agyapong Kufuor became president. That's why Atta Mills became president. That's why John Dramani Mahama became president and is president. That's why Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo became president. Because any MPP for open a tomano, Ghana for a tomano, and Ghana for so you nipa miensa. We have Ghanaians who are lions. We have Ghanaians who are doves. And we have Ghanaians who are sheep. It's every leader, you must strategically know how to play these levels.
Okay.
Since I may declare my position for Honorable Agyapong, I've had an opportunity to be close with him. And I can tell you that me three China Meshena, he represents these three.
Okay.
He has a lion, he has a dove, and he has a lamb. When to be unbalancing that's where you begin to fail. That's where you begin to fail. It will give you an example. John Dramani Mahama, the code of conduct by. I commended it. That John Dramani Mahama, the code of conduct by. Because I've been exposed. I've been exposed around the world to the extent to say, between President Etra Basimu, a president of a Western country, president of a Western country in Netherlands, to me for motorbike and a bicycle. And ride it around. So we need that kind of leadership where systems work. What the code of conduct about? I was not even calling for a harsher punishment. But I was saying that at least strike the whip. Put a committee together. Suspend the young man. Do an investigation. Reinstate him. Let Ghanaians know that you have that courage to do it. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's leadership. Okay? So see, that code of conduct has no battle. It can't fight anything. It's lost its potency. And the actions of the sitting government has embarrassed our courage. So what you say?
And do you think say Ken and Kobede?
Ken would have fired him.
I didn't, yeah.
Because he's a lion.
Okay.
And then he would have called him and tended him as a sheep. Say, don't do that again. And then as a dove, he will find a way to reinstate him in a different place. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because you say the ball stops with the president. And then the ball stops with the leader. Me in my house, there's not a single decision my wife will not say I'll talk to my husband. Not a single decision. In fact, even decisions that I don't want to be part of it. Me Rebecca say, wait till daddy comes. Do you understand? Ghana is divided into three. People that are lions, people that are sheep, and people that are doves. Who here leader or between me are combining all three of them. You don't need a leader only dominant in all three of them. In World War I, World War II, there was a strategy that was put in place. It's called the DISC analysis. D-I-S-E. It's not SWOT. SWOT is strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. No. You need a leader or a proper analysis of the DISC analysis. What is DISC? D is for a leader or a driver. A leader who can drive to deliver. That's what I'm saying. The world is in a stormy situation. If you just look at it, you to an aeroplane, 30,000 feet above sea level, 45,000 feet above sea level.
You do have no oxygen.
And turbulence, you need an experienced pilot to survive a turbulence in the cloud. Because turbulence, you see nothing, literally. You are even off the radar. That's how serious. Anything in aeroplanes, yeah. Anything in aeroplane. I don't know Burkina Faso asem. It's because the leader in Burkina Faso is rising above the status quo of all the continental leaders.
But I say, me to ade aba me ato so. Palgrave Boachi Dankwa openi ochira de o UPSC. The doctorate no or yeah, no, is it leadership?
Yes, my doctorate in France in leadership.
Leadership.
A patch business school.
And okay, and no din come on, I share. Baby, I gonna see. And then I hold a see and so one who baby out free bar, who baby or do try who baby or cover or quem. I'm muti any year. We're building a point now, the free baby free bar leader science. I can come on and baby I do to see baby or see it media any actually. Me kai was a Franco trading enterprise for na adom amano pay ye din komo. Ono se men kan so niam ani nyina wo online na be for kwan so nti www.francotrading.com. On sabe kan mo niam ani nyina ebi main office no adabra ka oni Roxy cinema na hwe animu ya no aka ya hye nso de amame. One mo obi osu Oxford Street, one mo obi o Circle ebe Audorize, one mo obi o Madina de no ebe post office, one mo obi o Hacho ani mia ahodo bebre. What the answer be free? Wo fra fa kokra wo no e be direct o na wa buy outlet ni mba ko na fe ni ma no wa be tobi free 0555 939311 0555 939311 na ni Franco Trading Enterprise phone komodie no entimi enkoso me baji wa adwene wo other issues kakra e wo ho na edi kan Constitutional Review Commission adwuma mo ye ne sesei no menim se bia wo do ani adi akire ehwe ohwa bia bibi sonko bi wo ho no ntia amo mati asimo mo we no ana ya chief justice nsem no so a ekoso no eso mamintio.
There are two constitutional review committees. Bako your party, bako your mind.
Yes.
Nti the end.
O mind dey na make am.
But me sure say fifie.
Okay.
Say eja yanka say your constitutional review. Yeah. Party. Ekubia ehun hia say obebo modern na wahwehwehwehwe wonsem. Your guiding principles. Into New Patriotic Party. Your call ya hu say anko ye kra no na say ye san yichi. Na ye be ye den hwehwe bi tutu ono. Nti yenso ye hwe your constitution mu. Ankofo bebre e de krata akọ a recommendation. Esisi a bigidi say party akase ye bibiem.
Yeah.
Say esisi ye bibiem.
Samum.
Na party financier no nye delegate and John don't to me to aba. Esi ebiem.
Yeah.
Esi ebiem.
Yeah.
Obi odo party ni bia esi ebiem no bia to me to be. Let us party say omo de school bi etoto ono a friend of Patriotic Institute. And no me say general secretary kan ho asem ma manage ye pa because in church dey ho hia. Say go for bi te baby a ye fi ase. Say na be ya umbe hu baby a ye ko. Inti party constitutional review committee ni dey ekoso kama ye bebo mo abaso ye bra o man ni mu Ghana man pani eye ora John Dramani Mahama ono de na memo no obu na your committee oriented government
koso
na was setting up the committee no but me hwa de bia me hu say omo ye stakeholder engagement. My stakeholder engagement in minimum. But I want to ask committee Mpamocho and you be a mwasra former president. But me who say mwakosra on mampeni na nado danko akufo-addo. Ebi mwakosra no so mo fan to Mpamocho. So mwakosra era on mampeni na nado danko akufo-addo. Moma yehu say mwakosra no because my shamo list ni nye mu stakeholders na mwa ye ni nya from beginning to end me who on mampeni na nado danko akufo-addo din ewom inti se mo akosra na me pamocho mo maye hu se mo akosra no because o constitutional lawyer waba bebu o man so esopen inti hu hia se ono so obewa agentre bi a obetumi di akere efa sa constitution ya ye kan wasemi amofa so be kaya on the 17th of December 2019 na o mampeni na nado danko akufo-addo ebe ye referendum ana ye be ye say ye di tumi ekwa local people the friend local government no mo anka say nya akwanya no mo ato eso aba eyi ni obedi omokan e wo local government ase in fact mame fankan to wonom say that day nanka NDC for eyi omo efima it would have been one of the highest moments in our governance in this country. And I referenced that with a lot of depth of concern for your memu ayebui Because a memo ye bu a memo no ama dache for moba. Eh? Segana be ye if you busia bia family values how the tutu onum ema we busia. De bia me ka kire me fie for say ye tete mo se ne be ya mo be ye oman bapa. What you say? Some of you were here. O papa titi uyi, o mama titi uyi. Inti ama wo hokafo aka say o ye beba papa. Ana me boa. Aha. Me so me wa here. Titi me ye. Ya nyan me. Titi me. Inti ama me so nkofo a me ne omo nante e ka say onso ase ya titi uyi. Inti ye hia obia ni input and contribution. Eno na Ghana man peni a oba can on here Agyapong or friend of synchronized thinking. Baby, I'll say, yes, I need back for team. Into more American way she am my team. Odin Hussein, or say, Mr. Mesa, Odin Hussein, Da Costa, Odin Hussein, Armstrong, Odin Hussein, Guy G, Odin Hussein, Kwesi Kwati, Odin Hussein, Kobe, Odin Hussein, George, Odin Hussein, Palgrave, Odin Hussein, Obo BAD, Honorable Charles Bisu. Operations, Odrin was saying, Andy, Odrin was saying, Dr. Otibosu, Odrin was saying, Obiso be a friend is synchronized thinking. Into for me, constitutional committee na ye dia tutu honom no. Omo making sure say stakeholder engagement no. Omo fo obi anka ho. Okay. Me de me hwe mu de me hu se omampani na nado dan kwaku fo no makosra.
Makosra, okay.
Into me pomo cho so makosra no mo ma ye hu. Okay. Because ono so ni hu here with the entire conversation that is going on.
But that's it. Marin, can just one message, Mrana. What do you think?
Why not? It's so water is life.
Right. Kindly agree with your panelists on what he's saying about the alleged speculation that President Mahama is nursing a secret ambition to be a third-term president in Ghana. Oguseko, Ankasa was my penny won't me cry. I don't know. Can I say agree with me? Yeah. Ghanaians do not even want to hear about the allegation. Let him continue to nurture that ambition. The reality is that it won't happen. Okay, Yati, Openi, that's it. Nkrofo Bibrajum say, or was I no a would trip, but said it more can Ebian and Yesa and Etia. I don't agree with the gentleman in your studio. He if the party present any candidate after Honorable Ken Agyapong, the MPP can't win. Upeso can say a party no present to be an asenya Ken MPP intimate win and Inshiraba Nelka Oko Haya Oko with Kama Oyeshi na Utrani na said Tufa one and on Swaka than as for Paragraph Mammy Chief Justice in some one person you
Chief Justice.
Yes.
Get you talk on. You know, make sure international business or UPSA. And when I look at Ghana as one entity. Dangote, Ekatre, the West, say Africa is made up of 54 countries. And you're one country. When I look at Ghana, me sure Ghana, me who Ghana say a year on my back. One country. Now, make sure the way I politicize your state institutions now, a home thing. In fact, that is more of a national security threat than anything. Okay. Because we have overly politicized our state institutions to say, Ghana, we don't have private people that they decide not to be involved in politics. So we say greener, our Duko Juma, you make us send a yes, so you cannot be neutral. That concept in Ghana is troubling. Very troubling. Of course, political party and na obia faso e de bebu o man no. Oba bebu o man na say yes swear we in as the president of the Republic of Ghana. As he says soon be toso. Because Ghana is soon. As Ghana soon be toso. Everyone will say, hey, Sisi, I'm a baby jam I become a father for all. That's one baby jam one of the moral fabric of a country is the legal system. If the head of the legal system, it appears as though there are maneuverings and political underpinnings. Omo person will unify honoma. And you're only troubling for Ghana, but it's troubling for the rest of the world. Because the investor be back Ghana, I'll say, no, the legal system, I can't come to this country.
Practice executive governance, said Udi Kai. He has the power. I want to the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, changing the security architecture. Where you were there now, Chief Justice, they're troubling us, the can was
it. Mekano brofo na makano potokasa. Mekano tree na mekano brofo na makano tree.
Koso.
Obetumi nya ade nya ho kwan.
Okay. Nya ni nyina na ye.
Benye ni nya na obetumi aye. What you say? Everything is permissible. But it's not everything that must be done.
Okay.
What you say? Inti. Yes, of course. Omampeni Nana Danko Akufo-Addo, Chief Justices. Omampeni John Dramani Mahama 1, Chief Justices and Supreme Courts judges. John Agyapong Kufuor, AEB. Atamils, AEB. Rollins, AEB. But near Asino, Yehu in that manner and form in this fourth republic is novel. Inti scholars have said, and I'm going we need the democracy. And untina Emma Kofuaka say, SSA, Ebia, Mahama Edri so beko in Fiemiasa. And so they be on drain was because region now you woman. There are 3 countries that almost can't echo us on. Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso. And there were terror acts across the sub-region of West Africa. It is a safe haven as a country. You must tackle the big hurdles. The legal system is not one of the places I saw do any country.
Okay.
Oh, because legal system, they speak law. They don't speak politics. It is say be a person would in conform according financial laws to the state. And the Chief Justice is empaneling. Now if you say Chief Justice you know what political orientation be to more panel in Kophobia, then let's close the country and go away. No, me, that's what I always say. Ghana, is that possible? It's not possible. It is possible. Let's allow state institutions to do what they must do. Now, state institutions are being vindictive. Look at the mass dismissal of people. I'm a father of Ghana for mass dismissal. Into Babucho. See a 2 Abama or Mampeni. Now your transitional period. I didn't know Mampeni or Ghana. Yet to me for Bijuma. Into that concept of the fact that Obia you found a Juma from the 7th of December 2024. It's novel.
4 months, 5 months into President Mahama governance. What's your take?
Oh, I give him a 5/10.
I didn't hear.
Because in Nemani do on Oma, Kobutu Media any highlights, he's not pivoting and highlighting on it well. It's a man and a half. It's better.
Yeah.
Half is okay. Mano, 5/6 is 5/10. It's okay. What do you say? Now, you say some of the policies of Mampeni and Danko Akufo-Addo shall see a deal Juma buy and own trim. 1 district, 1 factory. Bruh. And she said, Mampeni and Danko Akufo-Addo to revitalize alien industries. Oh, come on. Burkina Faso, Ivory Coast. Omorifi Akoko.
Yes.
They don't have frozen chicken there. Ghana. In fact, maybe example be an example in my class. Ghana for the Yamadie pa. Yamadie. Only Yamadie. Yamadie yema abuano or the processing food.
Yeah.
Not Ghana food. What the animal uses to process food. For the animal to be healthy. Not Ghana food. We have overly relied on importation rather than exportation. Or mind beer or rely heavily on importation rather than exportation. The country is gradually becoming poor. Because when you make an DPN. Into what must we do? We must change it. Because example in our class, it's a very serious example because it's tons of millions of US dollars and Ghana cedis, and yet they cry, and Ghanaians eat it.
Pardon me, final question. Who here anyone says Ora can be a flag bearer for MPP, no be a president? At the end, in the future,
Lots of development, industrialization. Me person who a country that is heavily dependent on itself.
okay.
That's what I want. I want to see a country that is heavily dependent on itself.
You see him say he stands for that.
Of course.
I didn't, yeah.
I want to see a country that is dependent on itself. Me person who a country exporting in Nema efi omainimu
Echo.
The resources bon mino and yet omaya cran Nema bon minimu. At least Bakwa Koshe is still factory hono.
Okay.
It's a full value chain, $100 million US. $100 million US. Obe saying here an extra $35 million US for operations. One man. I've seen it. And you say hearsay. Now, my travel through the entire value chain from roofing sheets to nails. Yeah, but you're Ghana. Into Burkina Faso here, they can come and pick from Ghana. Ghana. It's I want to see a lot of employment, private sector driven. The person who civil service and public service that is run like a private sector. Right? Ghana go for encouragement. May take a sample of the private sector, the public space through SIGA. And I may analyze my theories on servant leadership developed by Babato and Willa 2006. I may share the 5 dimensions of Babato and Willa 2006. I may do 2 on when I may deploy say I think that we need a servant leader in Ghana. Can I hear Agyapong is a servant leader? He's on the ground. We need a servant leader in Ghana. You hear leader reform. Oh, Ninko be Juma. Ghana phobe who say you are like us. That's it. Yempe leader be jina me omwa Ghana phobe ka say won say. We need a leader Ghana phobe ka say you are like us. And from 2028 to 2032, the world is going to change. Aviasi is going to be about strong economies. And it's going to be about the resources you have in your country.
Okay.
Look at Zelensky. Look at Trump. Zelensky say, before Obe call for peace talks between Ukraine and Russia, Trump must give a lasting security to Ukraine because what Trump of 3 years, 4 years, maybe.
Yeah.
So the American people must give a lasting security. Trump is all called Ukraine. Echo mining. So that's what he's looking at. And to me, I want to see a country where you can become a conglomerate in Ghana in any of our resources that we have, from lithium to gold to bauxite to diamond to copper to iron to steel, everything. I want to see you, Amofa, become that. Mbese mi hu ama a oti abontin ebeye that. Mbese mi hu Mariama a oti me to become that. Mbese mi hu Isa to become like that. Mbese mi hu Etonam, Seiram a omutie yen to become that. Mbese mi hu Kwame Agyapong a otie yen to become that. That's what we want. Mbese mi hu Ebo Ato to become that. Until we want a country that is self-reliant on itself. And a country that is truly economically dependent, independent of itself. Depending on other people. And I believe that Honorable Agyapong is that audacious leader. Or crosser. I'll be to me this idea with Amagana.
Okay. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
But that's a sell by he's a doctor or a lecturer or UPSA. The doctorate no leadership. Manage your because leader and I here Ghana. And if you have such persons, person like this, and I say, what can I see study leaders? One when people more can say one of such leaders or just obey me a leading partner Kennedy or Agyapong. Why should I doubt him? Midin Edia Amufa production team Yana Munina Mwase or the folk of Kwabuaji Yana say your bar studio hands so I Yana Munina Mwase and Ora watch it down Kwanswa or buy and so penny on Suya say. I hope say prepare me let's do this again. Yes, I Eddie and Kobobio Nyame Aduma and then you on boiling point. Yibisha Yakro.